Welcome back to my channel, Street Life to Housewife. I'm so glad you're watching this video. If you enjoy by the time you end watching this, if you wanted to like and or subscribe, that would be so great. Should I stop this? Or should I try and learn how to edit and I'll edit that out? If you're seeing this, I didn't end up learning how to edit. So anyways, like and subscribe if you like and want to subscribe. So I thought something fun to talk about. Well, I mean, not fun. Let me not, exaggerate. But something I wanted to talk about was, how I spent Thanksgiving 2 years ago, right before I got sober. And let me get this out of the way. Please don't mind this hair. This is just my hair. And, another thing in this video I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the story from 2 years ago. Then I'm going to tell the story from last year. And then tomorrow, well, you'll be seeing this tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving. I'll be able to share how my Thanksgiving was this year. So let's go back to 2 years ago, November of 2017. That was one of the hardest years of my life, but that month was especially hard. Eric had just gone to jail and he was going back to prison and he was looking at a lot of time, is what we thought. He was going to get a decent amount of time. And, he had gone to jail back in, I wanted to say February, I meant September, back in September. And my intentions were to get sober and go get our kids back, but that didn't happen. It didn't go as planned. When I got out of jail myself, which was like 20 days later, in September, I ended up just relapsing and going back to the streets, and I found myself out in Fife. And anybody who knows Tacoma or who's from Tacoma knows about Fife, but Fife is like the neighboring small town next to Tacoma, which Tacoma is a big city. It's like one of the bigger cities in Washington. So I found myself in Fife, and Fife is pretty like notorious for drugs and just craziness, casinos and all that. So anyways, I found myself in Fife around some people that, these are the same people I'd been around the last however many years, but the difference this time was that Eric wasn't with me, and so, in that I was by myself. Of course I had people around me, and, I wasn't like physically by myself, but I didn't have the one person who I trusted and loved with me, and he had a lot to do with why I felt safe majority of the time when I was out on the street. So majority of the time when I was out on the street. So, it was a whole nother thing for me. So, anyways, I'll fast forward to, November. And in the beginning of November, I had started talking with my grandma and started talking with people in the treatment center that I eventually went to, and we started working on trying to get me a bed date. And, I knew I had a bed date coming, and I didn't know what day at that moment, but I knew it was coming. And a bed date, for anybody who doesn't know, is the day that you're due to show up to treatment. So, I knew I was going to go to treatment any day, but I didn't know exactly when. And so yeah, Thanksgiving when I was a kid, it was like always family, family, family. It was like we all spent time together. It was like just huge memories for me as a child, and ever since my addiction, I didn't get to experience that. And that Thanksgiving of 2017 was not any different. It was, I woke up, I felt alone, felt empty, I felt hopeless, all of those feelings. I missed my kids, I missed everybody, I missed my family, I missed feeling safe, I missed everything. And, what do you do when you're using and, you have these feelings that you don't like? You use. So I started using and kept using, and I remember I kept falling asleep. And then I would wake up, I would go out, and I would try and get more money, and then I would come back and use, and repeat, repeat, repeat. Well, as I was walking back from, I think I was at the casino at that time, and I was walking back from the casino, there were police going up and down the street, and of course I had warrants as usual, and there was a lot of police, which that's not new, and that's not like strange in Fife, but it was just a lot, and they kept going back and forth, and so as I got closer to my hotel, when I looked, I saw there was a whole bunch of police officers in the apartment complex, in the hotel. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up walking over to the gas station, going to the Jack in the Box, doing whatever, and waited until they left. And then when they left, I ran over to my hotel and I locked myself in. And then I was in there all alone. And, it was, it was just not, just being in there alone. Hadn't talked to my family for a long time. The only person I talked to at that point was my grandma, because my grandma used to always come find me wherever I was, and she would at least make sure I was fed, she would bring me food. And I'm sure I'll do a whole dedicated video for my grandma, because she did a lot for me in my recovery and my addiction and just in my life, and I can never thank her enough. But yeah, so I ended up going back to my hotel, and I stayed in there, and then I got a phone call, and it was from the front desk, and they were like, hey, we just wanted to invite you down. We have Thanksgiving dinner here at the front office if you want some. And because I think the reason they did that is because this was like a super rundown hotel, and they had all of us in there were homeless. It's not like people were like families on vacation. This was like a homeless hotel, and so they knew. And so I told them, thank you for inviting me. And I sat there and contemplated, like, should I go down and get some food? But I was so scared because of the police, and I just didn't know if this was a setup, and this is how it works. So I was like, I'm not going down there. And I remember just being hungry and thinking about, I know my family is eating good food, and just all the regrets. And, eventually a friend or somebody, not a friend, but eventually a friend came over and brought some cold leftovers from downstairs, so I wasn't hungry anymore. But it was just, when you have those days that are just, you're so low, and all you think that you can do is get high, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And that's how, days become months, become years. It's because I thought for so long the only solution was to get high, and it's not. It's just not. So anyways, I thought that this would be a good start to it. And then, actually, let me tell you about how my Thanksgiving was last year really quick too. So anyways, so then if we fast forward a year from Thanksgiving of 2017, so if we fast forward a year from 2017, I was in treatment. Oh no, wait. Was I in treatment? No. Oh, I know why I'm confused. I'm like, why am I so confused? I don't get it. I wasn't in treatment anymore. I was in the transitional house across the street. Oh no. Was I? I'm having a hard time. Sorry. I'm back. Hopefully I can keep the camera angle steady as possible. But I'm coming back because last night I had made a video about how I spent my Thanksgiving 2 years ago, right before I got sober. and I thought it would be fun for me to come on today, Thanksgiving Day, and just check in about how my day was today compared to how it was 2 years ago. So anyways, today I woke up at 5 a.m. with my 5.5-year-old in my face telling me she's hungry. So, I actually, if I'm being like bluntly honest, I was irate. I was like, it's 5 in the freaking morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I was just like, she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, go get a yogurt. Go get a yogurt. It was just, one of those mornings. And then my 3-year-old got woken up, and anyways, it was a long morning. But I couldn't help but think, like, I'm just so blessed today to be able to even get woken up by them. Even if it's, a headache. I'm just blessed because of where I was 2 years ago, and just to be able to wake up to them is a huge deal. And so we woke up. It was a long morning. I got them in the bath, did their hair all cute, and I knew we were going to my grandma's to celebrate Thanksgiving, and I had time to take a shower, get ready myself. And we spent most of the day at home, just spend it together as a family. Nobody, come in, Mom. My mom and sister just came in to figure out where I was. Anyway, let me get this back together. So anyways, yeah, I just am so blessed to just have all these opportunities again, and, have my family back. So, hopefully, if you're out there and you're struggling with addiction, I hope you're not. But if you are, just know that, life is so much better. I used to think people were so cliche when they said that, or like, there's no way life is that good, but it is. I get to wake up with my kids, my family, and everybody. So, it's the little things, like even this. I did my, I have these like press-on nails, and I like did my nails on the way to Thanksgiving. They're cute. But this one is crooked, of course. Just a little. Anyways, but yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick little video and tell everybody happy Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter if you're where I was in the beginning or if you're at where I am now. I just am, want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, and let everybody know that it's worth it. It's so worth it. And yeah. So anyways, I will have another video soon. Please like and subscribe if you like and want to subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thank you.